all of you have kind of, basic knowledge on Power Platform, because this is more on the Dataverse side, how to import data to at a scale. Like Synapse is kind of, as Golok mentioned rightly, it's more about big data analytics kind of stuff. When you have large data set in Dataverse, how can you import it, and how can you do monitoring piece, how can you do data transformation. So the call is more into that, right? So I hope you all have some basic knowledge into Power Platform Dataverse. But yeah, I would definitely show you a demo. It would not be boring PowerPoint presentation to walk you through. But yeah, but I believe then only you can catch it easily, right? So, and feel free to post your questions in the chat window. Probably we'll take it in the Q&A session, but whenever it comes to your mind, keep posting there so that we don't miss those questions at the end. Okay, so to start with, this is little about me. I work in, as a in the Microsoft PowerCAT team. We call it as a customer advisory team. It's part of the engineering organization where we kind of bridge between customers and kind of the engineering team to build the products. If anything is kind of not built into the products, we put it in the backlog, we take it to the product group team, or we come up with something as a MVP. When I say MVP, it's a minimum viable product kind of stuff, so that customers or users can keep adopting it, and when it goes to the scale, we bring it to product. So this is the more idea kind of unblocking the customer wherever they kind of blocked with any new things, or any need for them, so that we go and kind of unblock them there. So I have over 18 years of experience total. So I'm passionate about enterprise architecture and pro code development. Power Platform it's built on top of pro code development, but yeah, it is offering to the end users as a low code and no code platform, so that anything and everything you can build it very quickly on a few drag and drop options and all. So I love to code in loop. I love to travel. I have almost traveled 3 continents, 8 countries so far. So I'm author of a book of microservices by examples using .NET Core, which is in Amazon. If you guys want to explore it about it, you can always go and feel free to do that. These are my social kind of handles, with LinkedIn and Twitter. It's there. If you want to reach out to me anytime, I'd be happy to answer if you have any questions on any technology, Microsoft stack technology. Yeah. So this is pretty much about toolkits which we have built it. The engineering team which I lead it, and probably we have kind of come up with these toolkits, which kind of, as I mentioned, right, to kind of maintain, to kind of that if there is any gap in the product, we come up with, we bring into these kits, and then we deliver it to customers or users when they adopt it, when we monitor it in the from the telemetry perspective, and then we go and bring it to product. So that's about it. We have COE starter kit. This is more about the governing and kind of stack governance, adoption, maintenance, and supporting of the entire Microsoft Power Platform, which can help COE Center of Excellences, kind of go and install it in their environment, in their tenant, to see from the environment strategy, security review, auditing, and other stuff. Yep. So then we have automation kit is more specific to RPA or Power Platform specific, Power Automate specific, right? So creator kit is more into kind of designing, UX UI, more into the big kind of UI controls and all. ALM accelerator for the DevOps lifecycle and all those stuff. If you want to know more about our team, you can always say ak.ms, who is PowerCAT. So, and if you want to get up to date about the product updates, office hours, all the toolkit updates, you can always go and join our office hours as well. So that's pretty much about it. Let's go to directly into the topic. I will cover low code ETL, which when I say ETL, it's data extraction, transformation, and load using Synapse Link, right? So and I'll be covering today specific to desktop flow monitoring, because you can actually do based on your need. Any table you can extract it, transform it, load it into the Synapse Link. But in this particular session, I would kind of guide you through desktop flow monitoring, because if you are using any kind of desktop flow or RPA in your organization, how can you monitor those pieces at a scale as well? Right, so this is all about, like, when people think about big data, they think it is really scary because a lot of data scientists, a lot of data analysts have to be involved, and they feel it is kind of a something which would take a lot of time and a lot of budget also from the organization perspective, right? So this is, but I would actually show you how easily you can do it, without involving a lot of data analysts, data scientists to do this. Yes, if you have that kind of in-depth requirement of kind of more data modeling and other stuff, yes, you need to involve sometime data scientist and all, or else you yourself can do it without much knowledge into those things. So this is probably I'll share you this deck after the call, but this is the link of our GitHub where we have recently announced this Azure Synapse link for desktop flow monitoring. I'll also give a quick walkthrough on that GitHub link, right? So coming to desktop flow monitoring to measure the bot KPIs, so there are certain things which we can actually measure the bot KPIs. It could be performance, error trend, machine status, where the bots are running. So if we have large data volume, this is the way to go. Azure Synapse Link, because it support lot of features. It support data in data lake, data transformation, multiple environment, secure network, near real-time monitoring, and monitoring in Synapse itself. Like you can see, how the data, where which job is running and all those stuff. You can always do a visualization. BI Delta Lake is coming soon, which is in public preview, but yeah, we will be soon announcing the GA of that. If you have a low data volume, in product also have a kind of a reporting. If you have less than 50K records to kind of see, you can always go to make.powerautomate.com and monitor your desktop activities. Okay, so coming to the next architecture wise, so I would again cover this more on the demo, but just to give you idea before that, how does it work? Dataverse, we have to create a Synapse analytics pipeline. The data ingestion happen from here, then data gets stored in the data lake, and then data lake have the option to go to Apache Spark if we want to do huge kind of, really, as I said, prepare, run any machine learning algorithm to be run, then we can always have a Spark pool, which is nothing but the Delta Lake support, right? Where you can run all your machine learning algorithms, AI stuff to predict anything on top of that. And then to visualize it, yes, there will be Synapse serverless pool, which automatically get created, and then Power BI report get connected to that serverless SQL pool. So this again probably looks very complex to you, but I would show you in a low code ETL platform how easily it can be done. It can be kind of all this stuff can be done. So there are some few limitations as well. I have kept, I've mentioned here. So probably you guys can go through this PPT after the call. So this is a kind of a snapshot I have taken on the data visualization perspective. You can see I have 1 million record. It takes around 2 to 3 seconds for me to load in BI, which is pretty fast, right? So let's go to the demo, that I think then you guys will have clear picture on what I'm talking about. Can you see my screen on Power Platform screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Sorry for keep asking because I have a lot of monitors here, so I really get confused which one I'm sharing. Okay, so this
No
is
issues.
yeah, so this is you can see your you can just go to the make.powerapps.com. In make.powerapps.com, if you don't see a Azure Synapse link here, you can always go and click on more, and you can always search for the Synapse link under here data management, and you can pin it. So if you pin it, you can see it on your left side window. And before that, I'll probably quickly walk you through the GitHub link, which I was showing, on my PPT. The reason is because of the Azure resources has to be created first, right? So when I say the Azure resources has to be created first, those Azure Synapse Workspace, Data Lake, and Spark Pool, all those resources in the Azure portal also has to be created first before we create a link and establish the connection from Power Platform to Azure. Right, so these are the kind of step by step approach. Like first you have to set up your Azure setup. So this is again automated. If you just click on this link, it would take you to your Azure portal with an ARM template which is configured automatically. You just have to provide all of your configuration name and all those stuff. Yeah, So you can select your resource group, you can select the region, you can select, give your storage account name. Storage account name is nothing but the ADLS, as ADLS2, which is the data lake storage Gen 2, kind of connected to storage account. You can give that here. You can give the workspace name. You can give the SQL pool name. Spark pool is nothing but the Delta Lake, all those configuration you can give. You can also configure your SQL login password over here. And once you create all those resources would be automatically get created on your environment. Then from the second and third step, I will walk you through in the demo. So once your Azure resources get created, come here to make.powerapps.com, click on this Azure Synapse link, click on the new link here or here. So once you click, it is again the widget base. You can just select here the connect to Azure Synapse analytics workspace. So let's say this is something I'm selecting here. So you can see automatically my workspace got selected. This is nothing but the Synapse workspace. And then this is the storage account, is the data lake storage account where my files and data is going to be stored. So these are the option. Again, you have an option to select a Delta Lake feature. You can select if you have really huge data, set, you can always go ahead and select your Spark pool, but I'm not selecting, but if required, you can always go and select it. So on click on next, you can select your table. I'm just, as I said, I'm for this demo, I am focused more into the desktop flow monitoring, but you can select, based on your organization need anything, any table over here, like account, activities, all the dataverse tables are available here. So I would just go select all the text of flow tables here. You can see process table where my flow information gets stored. Then I can select flow session where the once the flow runs, it goes to the flow session table. In which machine it is running, it would go into the machine group and machine table. So I'm just selecting this 4. Click on save. It takes some time to establish the connection and for the kind of creating all those file system in the storage account and establishing the connection between Synapse to data lake to Power Platform. But once it is done, you can easily see the data extraction point of view here, like the first step of the data ingestion to Azure. While it is going, any question anyone has?
So far, no question in the chat window. If anyone has any question, please, you can open up your mic also. You can ask.
Yeah.
Subject to the condition if Pooja is not speaking or something. So now, definitely you can ask if anybody has any question. I
Okay. So
think no.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, no worries. So if you can see, the connection has been established, and all my tables, the sync status also you can see here. Its initial sync is in progress. I have close to 70,000 records in this environment, and you can easily see, I mean, we can see it once the sync is done. I mean, all the data extraction is done to data lake. We can always go and see here.
Yeah, maybe Pooja, I have one question in this
Sure.
context. It's not a question basically. It's all about how Microsoft strategy point of view. So basically, previously we are using, I think those who use Dynamics also, we were using data export service, which was free of cost earlier. Now it is everyone is getting the hit like changed to Synapse. Already they closed this year January, I think January or March is the last date. You can extend up to you can extend up to April 15th. That
Right.
already extended, but after that it's closed already. So now
Right.
in this context, that one is free of cost. Now this is not free of cost, basically Synapse. So how exactly we are trying to address those who are getting free of cost and again need to pay some amount to achieve this
No,
Synapse
no.
part?
Absolutely. So I think, see, when I choose the Synapse link over here, right? Let me probably go back and so, but it's a very right question. So as I said, DS, the data export service is going to deprecate soon. So you
Actually, it's
always have a,
deprecated.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
deprecated, but yeah, the
Yeah.
support would be removed soon.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so if I can just show you over here, let me just go back. So you always have option only to choose data lake also. Like if you don't have really that kind of huge data set, to be processed, kind of go to Synapse, data processing should be done in, in a very, for a very large data set, you don't have to select this option. If you don't select this option, it would go to the storage account only. The same way, like if I just can select, just to show you here, see, you don't have to select the Synapse Analytics workspace. So then the data would go to data lake. It would only store in the data lake. But the benefit over getting, this is again optional, but the benefit of going with Azure Analytics workspace is, it would give you, kind of option to do data transformation. If you have a data transformation need, if you want to run any kind of, machine learning algorithm, then you can always do with the Synapse. Synapse is more powerful. It's kind of a data warehouse concept where data lake is data lake, right? Data lake is kind of a
Yeah, yeah.
data dump, where data
Yes,
warehouse is
yes.
more clean data, where you can actually do all those data transformation and all. So this is based on the need, but yeah, you can always use the free one, storage account of this if you want to do it.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. So let's see if my data, extraction are completed or not. Yeah, so if you can see 71,000 data got kind of, synced to my data lake and Synapse. So let's see both the views of data lake and Synapse. How does it look like? So this is my data lake. This is my data lake in Azure. I can go to blob containers. You can see automatically Dataverse automation kit with my, environment. This is the container has been automatically created over here. I have not done any coding. It is just few clicks on, with that, the data ingestion, data extraction to Azure is automatically done. The tables which I selected, workflow, flow session, machine, group, machine, all those data is already in my data lake, right? If I can show you one of the workflow table, it's in .csv format. If you really have more huge data set, I would suggest to go with, Delta Lake, that's Packful option, where the file would be stored in .packway format. The cost from the Azure cost perspective, it would be, you can see the huge difference because it would actually give you a lot of storage space free, right? So this is the data is in data lake. Now let's go to Synapse Analytics. So you can see also in Synapse Lake database, I have all those tables have automatically came here, right? If I just want to query, I want to know, my top 10 records or top, 100. I want to see my top 100 records of, say, flow session table. I can just say, query it like the way SQL queries. I can run this. Yeah, you can see your data, you can monitor your data also here in the Synapse, right? So this is something, again, no coding, nothing, just in the few click, the data automatically came here to from data lake to Synapse workspace. Yes, if now the coding is required, if you want to develop something on top of the, with the Python, in Python, if you want to develop something, you want to create your own data flows, you can always go here and, select these options. Like if I want to create some of the machine learning algorithms, I can go here, select the Python as my language, select the data in the Spark pool, which I have to create a Spark pool. If I want to do data preparation or any kind of data massaging on top of that, right? So I can always come and write my Python script over here with some machine learning algorithm and to, kind of do a data transformation as well. So this is the option of monitoring. When you create a pipeline, you have done your data transformation. In this pipeline itself, you can actually see all the activities, like in SQL. I just ran that select top 100. I can see, how many seconds it took, what data got processed and all those stuff. And then here for the same for the Apache Spark pools and other stuff also, you can monitor it over here. Right now, the next step is connecting to the Power BI report, right? So to connect it to the Power BI report, you can see the serverless SQL pool has automatically got created. If I click on this, I can always copy the SQL endpoint and I can go to my Power BI report. You can also actually do a kind of over here also you can create a link connection with your Power BI report, or you can do it here as well. In the first, develop it as a view, like I have a SQL view, where it is, sorry. So SQL view to do the data transformation. So once the SQL view, you can run it, and again, this view would be created on your data table, and that you can connect to your Power BI report to that particular view. Let me just quickly show you the Power BI report as well to connect it, how to connect it. Yeah, so before going to Power BI report, I can also show you the steps how to connect it to Power BI report. This is the third step, last step. As we speak about flow session view is a view, it's not mandatory. You can always create it, skip it based on your need again. But if creating a view gives you a lot of performance improvement, connecting to a view rather directly connecting to the table. Right, so this is something you just have to open the Power BI. Then let me probably show you here. Give me a second, it's just opening up. Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so you can always go to the Power BI report, which is there in our GitHub. It's there in the scripts here, .pbit file, which you can actually download it and then go to the Power BI report and select this. As I said, I just copied the SQL Server endpoint. You can always copy your SQL Server endpoint and then give it over here in the Power BI. And once you give it, your data will get connected. Then that's it. Just have to, that PBIT will be connected to your data and you can monitor it. And this is again only for the desktop flow monitoring. If you want to develop your own Power BI report, you are always feel free to connect the same, follow the same steps, connect to the SQL endpoint, and then have build your own report as well. So these are the few best practices. As I said, it's always recommended to connect to a custom report view rather connecting to the automated created views, which is created in the Synapse, while establishing the connection. So these are the best practices to follow. But if you follow, then your performance would improve. If you have a really large data set, you want to do a real-time data monitoring also, you can always do that with a direct query. Yeah, so you can see this is my last 1 month data. It shows over here. From those 4 tables, you can see those four tables, and I'm also connecting to the view which I have created over there. And I can see all those, how many errors, which machine group is running, which is not running, all those things. I can just go and publish it into Power BI, workspace, and I can monitor it. I can share it with my team. They can also monitor on live. Yeah, so that's pretty much from the demo side. Now let's kind of go to the Q&A. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to post it in the chat window or come on mute.
So far, no questions I can see in the chat window. Anyone has any questions in this context?
Pooja, I have some questions as well.
Sure.
Uh, Pooja, is there any table limit that we are getting from Dataverse to Azure SQL? Sorry, Azure Synapse.
Mm-hmm. So
Is there any table limits that?
there is no table limit, but you can create 10 synapse link. Like if you want to segregate your table and create different synapse link, you can create only maximum 10 synapse link in one environment. But there is no
Okay,
table
in
limit
one
as
area.
such. Yeah.
And for the connection we're creating, it will take the real-time data. We don't need any manual intervention, right?
Nothing.
During the data preparation. Okay. And if let's say we are like taking up to 40 columns from our data, and we can edit that in Synapse, right? If we need particular data, like
Yes.
we do in SQL, like some number of records, we can do that using TSQL and Azure Synapse,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely, because
Okay.
when you select the table, you are not selecting the column. It would take all
Yes,
your
right.
data to data lake. Now, since
Mm-hmm.
you have everything in data lake, you can actually do your data. That is why I was mentioning about the view, which
Yes.
would where actually you can do your data filtering, kind of selection, data transformation, anything based on your need.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and then one more thing, I think the one more question, related to your question. So there are two things when we do a data sync. Like let me probably show you again. uh,
Okay.
just quickly. So there are two things. One is append only, one is in place update. So, append only, if you have a really code operation on your table, create, update,
Mm-hmm.
delete operation, then select kind of append only, so that, your only data which get appended, deleted or created, those data will sync to data lake. But if you know it's a transactional data, then in place update is the option to go with. So that option actually you can select
Okay.
it in the next step. Yeah. So you can always select that option. I'm not selecting this just to show you the, here
Mm-hmm.
under this advanced, there are options like, enable incremental update, where you can actually do an incremental update to your data lake.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that one is good actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Hi,
and
Pooja.
hi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
please do.
Go ahead, please.
No, 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 sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was about to ask these questions like, is the incremental data update, that means whatever the data update that happened in the data, the tables, it will get those data from the database and, load it in the Azure Synapse, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I
So,
mean, we can also schedule like if there is a, if the management or if there is a need to continuously monitor the data, maybe every day we can schedule it. Is it, does it happen automatically when we do a data, I mean, like incremental update?
yeah. So what it,
Is it a manual operation or automated operation?
it's an automated approach. So like here, when you select this enable incremental update folder structure, you can always give the time interval. The minimum
Ah,
time, yeah. So the minimum time interval is 15 minutes. So what it
mm,
does, data would get synced to data lake. But let's
mm,
say, again, your need is kind of, you need to refresh it. It's not a real time monitoring. Like let's say you have
mm,
huge data, you can't do a real time monitoring for, for example, in those
mm,
scenarios, you can always schedule those in the Power BI reports as well. You can always select the import mode instead of direct query, because direct query bring data directly. It's a very real time data sync between Dataverse to Power BI report. But let's say
mm.
you are just, just want to monitor the inventory usage where you have huge data volume. You cannot do a real data monitoring that time. You can always, there are, kind of best practices if you follow. But if your need is not to go and look at, every time what is happening in the table or in my, data perspective, so you can always schedule those in the Power BI as well, as a data refresh, as a import mode.
Okay, the Power BI report that you're talking about, that is basically for the Azure data lake, right?
Mhm. So that connects to the Power BI report connects to your Synapse, Synapse
The Azure
serverless.
Synapse,
Yeah.
yes. Okay,
So the
okay. But
data
the
sync
Synapse,
between, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
the question is the Synapse is basically a kind of service, but the data is basically stored in the data lake.
Yes.
How the concept is, it is stored in the data lake, right? And
Yes.
Azure Synapse is a service that
Yes.
actually allows us to transform the data from the data lake and present to us. Gives more,
Absolutely.
yeah, more. Okay, okay, got it, got it.
Yeah.
So
So
the
this
Power
is
BI
this.
is
Yeah.
basically on the
Yeah.
Azure data lake and
Yeah.
with Azure Synapse service. Yeah,
Yes.
okay,
So
okay, go
what
ahead.
it happens, it's a very good question, I would say. So
Mm,
so what it happened, like if you see the data is
mm,
there in the data lake Gen 2. The data is not there in my workspace. So, but
mm,
there is a link service which automatically get created between workspace and data lake Gen 2. And then
mm,
data, it's kind of a wrapper, where you can just see
yeah,
the data, kind of a virtualization concept where you can actually see the
mm,
data, do the data transformation, but the data stays over here, in my Gen 2, in my Azure data lake Gen 2. So, once the data transformation is done, so if let me probably show it to go to my, Synapse and show it to you quickly. So if I go to my Synapse, let me just go to my Synapse. So when Synapse workspace get created, because that's just a workspace, right? That's not a database or something. When it get created, it automatically create a SQL server pool. You can always choose a built-in, which is a serverless, or you can always choose a dedicated SQL endpoint also. So you can see there is a serverless SQL pool which automatically got created and mapped to my Synapse workspace. Like Synapse workspace is a concept of, think about a .NET framework. It's just a framework, but in top of that you have ASP.NET, CSAP, VB.NET. Based on your need, you have to create those, right? So on this workspace, this SQL server pool which got created, which is a data warehouse concept. Then you can do your data massaging, data transformation on the SQL endpoint. Does that answer
Okay,
your question?
okay. Okay, okay, good. Thanks, Puja.
Sure. Thank you. Any other question?
Hi, Pooja, this is Pawan.
Hey, Pawan.
I just want to know that Power BI also has an ETL transformation using Power Query, right? To
Yes.
what extent Azure Synapse can give more flexibility using it, or why we should shift from Power Query to Azure Synapse? Because ultimately you are rendering the report in Power BI.
Right.
So
Good. Yeah. Yeah. So Pawan, again, valid question. So, like, let's say, as I said, Power Query, you can write a Power Query, you can write a view, but Power Query is not it is not a good performance wise. Like, if you want really huge data to do a data, to load the data faster, then you always recommended way to do the data transformation in the, Synapse, so that Power BI can just pull those filtered data instead of loading the entire data over in Power BI and do the filtering in Power BI, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is, a Power Query can only query the data which is all data set which is there in Power BI, right? But let's say you want to do kind of, based on the need, but again, your organization need to run a machine learning algorithm on the data you have, and then send it to Power BI for the reporting, because Power BI is just a data visualization perspective. The data transformations, entire data transformation, preparation, training, everything should done in the Synapse workspace, for the big data analytics, all those things, data, because the more cleaner data you send it to BI for the visualization, the faster it would load.
okay, okay, thank you. I think for any medium scale enterprises, I think we can use Power Query, and
Yeah,
if there is no much need, then we can use
absolutely.
it within Power Query.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, okay, thank you. So maybe Pooja, I have one again from my past experience. I have one clarification actually. So Azure Synapse, I understand it's when it started. Before that, Snowflakes was there in the market. Okay, it's from the competitor. I understand. Snowflake is giving same feature which Azure Synapse is giving.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Synapse, we understand it is keep on improvising. That's for sure. But at this current stage, how comparable Snowflakes with Azure Synapse means? What are the uh, just I'm trying to understand high level for end user
Yeah,
perspective. Yep,
absolutely. So probably I'm not in the right stage to
I
give a
understand.
comparison
Understand.
between Snowflake and
I fully
Synapse.
understand. Yeah,
I can
yeah.
only talk about Synapse. Synapse is
Okay.
really matured, at least, as of today,
Mm,
to because let me probably show you, because earlier the Synapse has the kind of, facility to not to support R language and all, but it supports
mm,
all the language. Like today it supports .NET, it supports SQL, it supports Python, it supports, R. It supports all the language which required for the data transformation, or as a market a kind of, analysis where the most of the developers, are familiar with those languages, right? So it support all those languages, and it the powerful, power, again, I will say, well, not to compare, but yeah, there is a pipeline which you can actually build, like if you want to do a Databricks connection on top of that, which is again more powerful for the kind of, writing your machine learning algorithm and all. Hive you can connect, for the big data analytics. Like people who are into big data analytics, it has everything, kind of a mature stage in Synapse to use, all those features. Like you can always
Yeah,
create your
yeah.
own data flow here. You can bring data from, you can run your notebook, you can run your like let's say copy data. I can just copy, drag and drop. I can give my source is my which from where I have to copy data. Sync is my destination. I can always select where the data should go, and I can do that data transformation over here. I can have multi-stage data flow. I can run it on my pipeline. I can also connect to my GitHub if I want to store all these things in my GitHub. So it is kind of a fully packaged, fully matured in that way.
Yeah, yeah. Understand. Actually, why I'm asking this, to be very honest, for this proposal point of view, right? I had a chance to interact with Snowflake's guys also. Okay, I had a chance to discuss with Microsoft guys also. So what they are saying, okay, again, it's an interaction platform. That's why I'm saying it's nothing to compare or something. Rather, will evolve something new. So I understand like. Snowflake has certain features like Snowflake is saying, okay, we can leverage the infrastructure of Azure. We can use infrastructure of Azure. We are open with that. Even we can use Amazon also as a infrastructure, but we cannot use Amazon's Redshift or Synapse from Microsoft, something like that. But we are quite open on that. That is one thing. They are saying it's not like we don't have platform dependent. Rather, it is quite independent. You can use Azure platform, no issues, but you can use this leverage and it gives you quite refined result. This is where I understand this refinement point of view. Even today also, if you Google, just I Googled, it is showing Snowflake typically outperforms Synapse significantly with no fine tuning. This statement. I'm trying to understand how exactly it is improvised on fine tuning part, basically.
Right. So,
Yeah,
again, as I said, I will not talk about anything about
understand,
Snowflake
understand.
because, I'm not probably the right person to talk about Snowflake. But yeah,
Okay,
from the
okay.
Synapse perspective, I can say, as I said, talk about the Spark pool, right? Really, because, it depends on the need always. Like, let's say you have huge data volume and huge data set to, use it in the Synapse kind of stuff. Spark pool,
Okay.
it's a Apache Spark pool, right?
Yes,
You can,
yes. It's open
when we
source.
talk
Yeah.
about, yeah, it's a open source. You use
Yes.
it in any technology. It's not technology agnostic and all, right?
Correct,
So
correct, correct.
again, and you can also expose as an API call, get data from API to Synapse. I mean, in particular to statement, Google is mostly kind of will give you where you find a lot of blogs, a lot of things,
Yeah, correct,
yeah,
correct,
already
correct.
there because this is a new product. Probably to compared to Snowflake, probably you might not have a lot of data into that. But from my perspective, I can say, this is the best one to get data from. For the dataverse perspective, get data from there. Do all your data massaging. Do any data format, get it. Do from any source you get it, and then bring it to a reporting. That is the need. Then you can always choose it. And the major advantages of going with Synapse over from the dataverse, as you know, right? So data lake is one of the data lake is the concept where you can actually store data from multiple sources, right? Any source. So today I have created, I connected to dataverse, but let's say for your organization need, you have SharePoint, you have Excel, you have something in the some other SQL DB, another SQL DB. You can always have multiple data source data into the Synapse workspace, where the data exports are support service which was earlier there was not supported. So in Synapse, you can connect to multiple sources of data, bring it to your workspace, do the data transformation, show it in Power BI. That is more again a recommendation approach to go when you have multiple data sources, be it flat file as well, be it documentation as well, documents as well, all those stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Because actually, okay, just to summarize, I remember Satya was speaking in Microsoft Ignite 2022. He mentioned that Snowflake's actually he has given a statement also in that actually in comparison to that, what you mentioned rightly in the Spark point of view, we improvised a lot and Synapse is far beyond better than Snowflake's. This is what I understand so far. So, but anyways, it's really insightful to know that yeah, now we have signups also there. Basically, why I raise this question because in the community point of view, right, a lot of people have this kind of questions.
Absolutely,
Even
yeah.
I got the ping also. A lot of people asked, why we will choose signups? Why not Snowflake? And okay, guys, just to confirm that definitely Snowflake, Microsoft Snowflake was their existing player, but signups is now up to the par basically to addressing the requirement, even though it is having far beyond that, because it has associated technologies. Whether Snowflake is restricted to a specific technology, where let's say anybody is using Microsoft Stack of Business, it's quite easy to synchronize with Synapse and complete Microsoft Stack of things. And Snowflake, it's a pricing, it's quite dubious, actually, I understand. So there are different things are there. You can go and research and from the market. Okay, I think this is what I'm trying to discuss.
Got it.
Any other questions anyone has?
Hi, Pooja, Arif here.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have a question in point of view like low code, no code. Like I am very new to this low code, no code platform. Like in Power Platform, we have AI builders, right?
Yep.
So here in the Azure Synapse concept is like we are getting data from Dataverse, and in the Synapses we are like it's a ETL kind of tool, and then we are presenting the data in Power BI as a report. So, like, suppose I have a Dataverse table, I have a lot of data there, and I got the data in the synapses, and then without doing any coding, I want to like build a AI builder. Is
Mhm.
the synapse supports that kind of thing?
No, it doesn't, because Synapse is the purpose of. I mean, I got a question, but the Synapse is more into a data analytics platform, where AI builder is again a low code platform where let's say you can directly connect your, you can upload your document to summarize it and then connect to Synapse link. You don't have to do it. You don't have to write a code here, for those scenarios. So you need to think the best use case, when to use what. This is more on the large data set. When I say large data set, we have seen people, have close to 1 billion of records and all. They were kind of lost how to bring it to reporting, kind of, they want to predict something on top of those data, because they have historical of 1 billion, 2 billions of record. And or if you are a mid-size organization, also you have multiple data sources, like where, probably AI builder would be, you use it in the Power Automate itself. Power Automate, go there, use it, do the data transformation, do the text summarization, do everything, and then store it in a Dataverse virtualization table, or store in your, create your own table and store it in Dataverse, and then bring it to Synapse. Yes, you don't have to again do, right? So you use low code platform there, based on, before you send data here. Or if you have really huge data set and you want to do all those data transformation, you will always have an option of Synapse to do that big data analytics over here.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, hi Pooja, this is Pitambar here.
Hey, hi.
So how do we export the configuration of a Synapse link from one environment to other, or do we need to create a Synapse link again in another environment? Let's say I had configured everything in a dev environment. If I
Yeah,
want to
good question.
export,
Yeah.
yeah, export to some other environment, then
Yeah, so Synapse Link supports ALM as well. So, for the ALM perspective, there is, there is something you can actually, you can, in the data for Synapse Link itself, in the launch side, there is a app which you have to install from the App Store. So once you install that app from the App Store on your environment, you can actually just, import the Synapse Link to multiple environments. But that's a very good question. It supports, ALM as well.
so do we have a component for CI/CD?
It is not kind of totally into pack CLI or into ALM built in, but there is a app in App Source. Like if you install that app in App Source on your environment, you can actually then put it into a solution and then import into a different environment.
Okay, so one
Let
more
me quickly
question.
probably show
Yep,
it to
yes.
you. Yeah, if that is. Yeah, this is the one. So you can actually transport your this thing across the environment. So this is the prerequisite. This is the app I was talking about. You have to install this app on your environment, and then you can import it. You can see, you can always put it in a solution like this config, and then import it into different, export it and then import it into the other environment.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. And the other question is, see, use data export service. I mean, it has been uh, deprecated now from Microsoft. So when I tried with an Azure Synapse Link, it creates some metadata tables.
Metadata
So
table. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, you were really valid question again. Let me
Yeah.
probably show it to you. So what does metadata means again? Let me go to my uh go to my go to my data lake. So you can see there are some metadata tables also got created over here, right? So what is this metadata table? Metadata table has kind of a choice, in dynamics, people who are from dynamic, there is a choice and kind of stuff, like if you want to store a status, let's say, or state as active, inactive, status as kind of running, failed, and all those stuff. So those things goes into state metadata, status metadata goes to status metadata, and then localization, all those things go then store here in the metadata, in this metadata table, CSV. If you want to query all these things, always in the Synapse, as I was showing you to the, let me just show you this SQL script. You can see that I'm doing a join with all those metadata table to get the status code, kind of all those stuff here, status code name, because in the metadata table, if you want to store show it, like in your reporting itself, how many failure happen, the flow is active or not. So those data those data would be in the in your table, but but only the choice, code would be there. Like, let's say for the active it is 0, for inactive it is 1. So those data would be there on your main table, but to get the name you have to do a join and get it from the metadata table.
Yeah, so these tables are not available in an CRM because I mean, we are not including in Synapse Link. So anytime and every time, if you do some changes to any of this metadata, I mean, an option set and any of this, so will it be incrementally?
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Okay,
will get update over here. So
updated.
this is something, again, I have, the flow session table is a inbuilt table in Dataverse, right? So this status metadata and status metadata and state metadata table, which is already there inbuilt in Dataverse. But if you have customized, if you have your own choice table, then also you can always bring it to Synapse and do a join and show it over here.
Okay, okay. Thanks, Pooja. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you.
Pooja, I have a question here.
Yep.
So, like, I know this is all about how to scale up Dataverse tables using Azure Synapse, but in case I am trying to add some other data source uh, in Azure Synapse, and I want to derive some data from Dataverse as well, and like merge it with the data I'm getting from another source. So, can we do it? Is it possible over here?
Yeah, it is pretty much possible. See, there are ways of doing it, like, let's say, for example, you want to bring your data from SharePoint, for example, right? So you can
Right, right.
always have a virtual table connection, bring data to Dataverse, then connect to Synapse, then Synapse can bring it to here. Or if you have a kind of a external data source in SAP, we forget about anything in Microsoft stack, right? Anywhere in any technology.
Yeah.
So what you can always do, you can always bring your own, you can, as I said, you can always have your own pipeline built. You can copy data from any source, like the one which I was showing, right? From any source, you can write Azure function, you can write your Azure Data Explorer, you can do a kind of Hive, which actually a data source where actually you can
Hmm.
store any data format. So those required custom and data analyst, data scientist involvement, like
Oh,
anything from outside, because it's just an infrastructure where you can actually, because as
mhm.
I said, it's just a workspace, you can actually bring, it's technology agnostic completely, where you can bring data from any source to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, in that note, I cannot see any further questions. Anybody has any questions or anything you want to discuss? Feel free to open it up. And yeah, I think it is end of this session. So, yep, if anybody has any questions, no. Yeah, because it's a weekend time and everyone want to
So I see
go.
Subham has raised his
Yes.
hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay, yeah. Subham, maybe Subham, you can definitely open up your mic. You can ask the questions if you want.
No, guys. Quickly, like, are those sessions are recorded so I can see the recorded where we can get those recorded sessions?
Yeah, actually, Subham, actually, those, it's a good question. Actually, it is recorded and it will be posted for sure. But you spare us some time because, all were working. So it takes around 1 month,
Yeah.
2 months sometimes. So it will be
Okay.
uploaded in the YouTube channel. Um, uh, Give me 1 minute. I will post the link also in the chat window. It's a really good question. I missed to uh, share actually. You can Google Power Platform Infonaut YouTube channel. This is where our YouTube channel actually. Okay. Let me check. You can Google actually. Basically, I'm just Googling now also. I cannot recollect Power Platform Infonaut. Okay, I'll post in the chat window. Anything else? Any other questions?
No, not at this moment. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, yeah. There is a YouTube channel actually. We'll post in the YouTube channel and I'll post in the chat window on the YouTube channel. So no worries on that. But yeah, please bear with us. It will take some time. This is what I'm trying to convey. Okay. Um, yeah, okay. If no further questions, maybe as you know, always at last step of the session, we do a photo shoot session. It's a group together. I'm not sure if
Okay.
people can
So I
open
think
their.
let me just, yeah, sorry, I have one more question.
Yep, sure,
This
sure,
one
sure.
is
Go ahead.
this one is close to this, but sometimes many of our clients they run out of storage space in the database because of a lot of data, and they look for archival like an archival data. Okay, so those some of the data are very maybe historical data, but they just want to maintain it very easily. So how do you I mean, what is the suggestion of archiving those data quite easily? There is there is no maybe there is no manual intervention, but the visualization should also be there. So we know that Azure Data Lake is there. We can with some queries we can just push the data from the database to the Azure Data Lake, right? Uh, how good? I mean, what is the solution? I mean, um, the question is to everyone. Pooja is also, I think, she is also quite experienced.
Right. So I think, there is another option of export to data lake in admin side, right? If you want to do a data archival, you can always go and, export your inventory data to data lake and store it over there. But yeah, it's
Um,
Mhm.
open to.
But Pooja, I think I just want to add a question. Add a point. I think Palas. I think we know each other. Okay, so Palas,
Yeah.
you know, right? Microsoft has one in preview in on the roadmap. They have data archival out of box. They are going to provide, right? Not only here,
Yes.
they F and O also they are providing, but yeah, it is in preview. I'm not sure how much time it will be in preview and when it is going to release, but yes, it is there. But once that is released, then we are good to do. We no need to do anything custom way. Microsoft will take care. Only we have to take care of the storage allocation configuration,
Yeah,
right?
but as
Yeah.
you know, Golak, that
Mm.
that is still in preview, and I
Mm.
know
Yeah,
from the
correct.
point of
Now cannot.
preview and how long we have to wait
We
to
know.
get the
Agree.
thing
Agree.
settled, and then we can suggest to the client. Okay, so it
Definitely,
takes some
definitely. I
time.
agree. I agree. I agree.
Some of our clients are really looking for like very low cost solution, you know,
Correct, correct, correct.
um, to archive the data, to reduce the storage space,
Yeah,
move it.
actually, okay. So low cost solution, if I will say normally we use Blob. So that is the cheapest option so far available in the market. You buy in TBs, not only GBs.
Mhm.
So you use that, push those to Blob, and whenever required, they can use that. I think that is the I think that is the market available cheapest option.
But the blob, we have to do some, we have to run some query from database and push it to the
Definitely,
blob.
definitely,
But
definitely.
is there any way that the normal users, they can actually, from the visualization perspective, they can easily
Yeah,
see those data? That is a very big challenge that we are facing.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Currently, I don't think if you put in the blob means it's like visually, definitely they cannot. And yeah, I agree with you. Again, you have to pull from blob and create somewhere and then display all these things. It's a add up into the customization. Yeah,
True,
I
true.
fully agree. Yeah,
That is why we are not able
correct, correct,
to
correct.
suggest anything. The user saying that I have the data, I want to see it, whether it's archived, maybe it's a separate space they want to go and see, but it should be easily, but it is not so easy to get the
Yeah,
data
yeah.
from blob and display to
So,
the user.
so it is your benefit. You are top of the customization effort. You tell, okay, we saved your costing. We put in the blog. If you want to
Uh,
see the whole data, you pay for that.
uh,
We will customize and display somewhere. Yeah, currently
Okay.
I don't think any solution is available. Maybe Pooja can comment if she is aware in the pipeline and everything.
Yeah, noted. I mean, you have to wait
Yeah,
for those,
yeah, yeah,
for the GA of data archival functionalities.
yeah, yeah. Actually,
Yeah, I
yeah,
see
that.
my colleague Grant is also there in the call. Hey, Grant, thanks for joining.
Hi.
Again.
So you're just saying, well, you're just waiting for the archival question. Was the question you had at the moment?
Yep.
Yeah, I can't think of any other way at the moment. The only thing I could think of at the moment would be to use a virtual table. So to have
Yeah.
it out of blob storage and then expose it via a SQL server pool and bring it back that way.
Yep. Thanks, Grant. Must be so late for you, but thanks for joining.
No problems.
all right. Um, all right. Thanks, Grant.
Thanks everyone, and thanks Grant for joining so late. And really we appreciate on that, and on behalf of our platform, Odisha UG, and for everyone who asked for the YouTube channel, I pasted in the chat window. You can wait for that channel. You will get your videos here. Okay. And in that note, I'm not sure if anyone interested to turn on the camera to take a photo shoot session. I think people are leaving because they don't want to turn on the camera. Okay, I can see three people are there. Four. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Anyone else? Sashi is not there. I'm pretty aware because Sashi is I'm handling that account. Okay. I think we have four people. No point in turning on the gallery view. Instead, we can just take a snapshot like this. Thanks for joining. And Palash, you seems you are enjoying. Actually, we knows each other. So anyways, it's a quite common platform. If anyone want to ask any questions technically, definitely you are welcome. And it's all about you can share your experience. We will share our experience so that we will know each other's from each other's experience. Okay. And thanks everyone. Thanks
Thank
Grant.
you.
Thanks Pooja for joining in the request. I understand you guys have a lot of busy schedule and all, and thanks for making it. And hopefully we
Thank
will
you.
see in upcoming sessions also. And thanks everyone for the attendees. Like I can see Pitambar, Balash, Shubham, Arju, Aishwarya, whoever cannot turn on the camera also. Thanks everyone and enjoy your weekend. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
you.
I joined for
Thank
the
Bye
you.
first time, but
bye.
it's
Thank
really
you.
Bye
helpful.
bye. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.